Good afternoon, kings and queens, and welcome to Believe in Yourself Tuesday. I'm your host, Lakina Folks, and in 2019, women started 1,821 net new businesses every day. The U.S. now has 12.3 million women-owned businesses that generate $1.8 trillion a year, and that accounts for 40% of U.S. businesses worldwide. Our guest today is amongst the female entrepreneur of excellence. She has been featured in almost every prominent media outlet, and that goes from ABC, NBC, Craze Detroit, Essence Magazine. She is Natasha Lee. She is the CEO of Make Your Dreams Come True and Being That Girl Fashion Business Industry. We will be right back to chat with her right after this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Natasha, well, thank you so much for joining me on today on Believe in Yourself Tuesday. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Natasha, is what you're doing now what you always wanted to do?
1,000,000%. It actually is. I just literally think I started the journey really early in my imagination that I would be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And my mother inculcated that in me at a very young age, 8 years old.
Wow.
I was walking down the street with my mom to school. And I wanted to know why my father couldn't take me to school because it was a blizzard, back in the day. You know how those Michigan blizzards were. So the snow was literally up to here. And I'm like, Mom, why do we have to walk to school? And she was like, your father had to work overtime. And my father worked at Ford Motor Company growing up. And he worked a lot. And I remember saying, I'm never going to work until I'm 60. Because she told me that was the age that you had to be to retire. Okay. And I was like, Mom, I'm not going to work until I'm 60. She said, well, how old do you want to be when you retire? I said, at least half of that, 30. And so she was like, okay, well, you have to work hard for it. She was like, here are some good, professions. She gave me 3 options as far as professions would go. And it was a doctor, a lawyer, and an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And she said, but the entrepreneur get to do whatever they want to do. They can make the rules. They don't have to work as hard, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to own my own business. And then I believe just from that point on, I just spread a ton. I love books. And not only that, I would draw out these business plans as a kid, like to malls and amusement parks and things like that.
You made business plans at 8 and 9, 10 years old?
Yeah, but I don't know how well of a business plan it was. But of course, I started imagining at that point that I would be a business owner.
Wow. And what business was it that you imagined yourself to be?
Similar to Great Lakes Crossing, a mall with amusement park inside of it. And it did not happen. I just didn't do it. But I thought I was being really unique. So probably at the time, maybe a Mall of America existed and I just didn't know. But to me, I thought that I was creating something new. And I remember the pens, the classroom, Miss Caldwell class, 6th grade, pink, purple, and turquoise big pens. And I drew it all out, what would be there, this is that and the third. And at that point, entrepreneurship became real to me.
And so it also sounds like you always been a dreamer too.
Definitely.
Just constantly dreaming and just writing at 8, 9, 10 years old and doing a whole business plan.
Yeah, I think that it was just, I love to read so much. So, back then, I mean, TV was cool, but you only had set times for programming versus now streaming is happening all the time, right?
Right.
So I read a lot of books, and you're forced to have an imagination at that point. And so while reading different things, you know, I think that imagination just pushed me to just want to live my dreams. I think that's what's really just reading about other people living their dreams, or whether back in the day where there was school where we talked about Black history and read about ancestors who had to overcome, or reading the Bible for me, looking at those people who overcame challenges and how they balanced their success and their favor, so on and so forth.
So you look at the Bible as a story.
I do very much so.
Not a lot of people do that. They don't. Some people do. I know I do too. But you know that you think of it as a story, and you like envision it, and you see them, and you
I feel it. I mean, I have some favorites in the Bible. Like, yes, come through. So I use them as examples in everyday life or whatever, in terms of, you know, what is my definition of what success is and things like that. So again, reading is really what I would contribute to a lot of my success.
Awesome. So what also inspired you? I know you said a little bit about your mom help you kind of planted that seed of entrepreneurship, because you said, I'm not working till I'm 60. But what inspired you to continue on to have a business and be a business owner? Because a lot of people, you know, they want to have a business, but they don't continue on. And so what inspired you to just continue? I am an extremely fast learner. And in my mind, at working at various jobs from the ages of 15 to 22, I worked for many administrative type of offices, firms, call centers, banks, trucking companies, logistics, like just so many different places. And every time I was there, I was either the top salesperson, or I was there creating solutions for problems that they had. But they were not paying me to do this. I was doing things like at an executive level. And I realized it at a certain point. And the first realization was working for a company out in Warren that shall remain nameless. I ain't gonna do them that bad. I was the only African American person in the department at the time. It was like myself and another young lady. And this was when I was probably about 19 or 20. And our job was to plate vehicles, to assign license plates to vehicles. And you had to push out a number of license plates in a day to executives to get them to test drive vehicles before they would come out on the market, which was really, really a cool job at the time. And no one knew how to plate as many cars as me, because I had created a system that would, for me personally, for me to do my job easy. Because like I said, all I did was read. So I knew that being at the desk, if I did this faster, then I was about to be chilling at the at the desk reading while they think I'm working. So I would do that. And then a young lady had gotten fired, and I was able to do me and her job in the short amount of time. And able to teach it to other people in the office. Well, they allowed me to teach it to another person, and gave her, a young lady, I'll never forget, and her anyway, I won't say the name, but anyway, it's hard to try to tell the story. Don't say the names. So they gave her a raise after I taught her my system, and how I was in it, and I didn't get a raise, and she got a promotion, right? So that was the point where I realized a snippet of how valuable I was, because before I just thought I was a serial quitter. I would go to the job, learn, boom, I'm out. Learn. This is boring. I gotta go. I don't care what it was. I'm like, after I'm here for a good time, I'm out of here, you know? And so here, I think this was like a great paying job for, you know, my age. So boom, I stayed, and I'm like, okay, the only one here is about, I see what's going on. So I said, after they gave her the promotion and the raise over me,
we had this really big push that happens actually every year at this time, where you have to push out a certain number of cars. But they were relying on me still to do it, because they had just announced the promotion right in front of my face.
Wow.
Like, and she's going to do my job. And then they were like, Natasha, we're going to need you to get us to the end of the year.
Oh, no.
So energetic at the thing. So he says, does anybody have any questions at the end of it? I said, I do. He said, yes, Natasha. I said, I quit. And oh my gosh, he turned completely red. He put me in the office. He's like, you can't. I said, I quit.
Wow.
If you're going to I said, you're either going to give me the raise or the promotion, or I'm leaving right now. And I did not have another job. I had 2 kids. I was a two-time teen mom. I'm like 19. I don't care. I'm like, you will not do this to me.
Right.
I could not imagine me letting you do this to me right in front of my face. And he didn't want to do it. So I politely told him to mail me my last check and have a great day. Okay. So shortly after that, I get hired in Budco in Highland Park.
Oh, so they didn't give you the raise or nothing. So you just left.
I quit. I
thought you were going to say they called you back. Hey, we thought about it.
They did, but I didn't accept it. I didn't like the way he was talking to me, how he treated me. I didn't appreciate any of it. I just couldn't allow myself to be treated a certain type of way when you need me. And that's when I knew, like, oh no, I'm not going to I already gave them the system. I already created it. You just gave someone the promotion. I taught it to everyone, and I didn't get anything but the hourly rate that you gave me.
Yeah.
And fine, I didn't know any better, but now I do.
Yeah.
And so when I went to my next job, I did the same thing, but this time a great thing came out of it. So I was being paid like great figures to be a sales rep on a elite team selling extended service plans for Ford and Chrysler. And at the time, I was being paid to like $6,000, $8,000 a month due to commission sales and things like that. But I had created a personal system to be able to get the commission.
Those personal systems.
I'm like, okay, like how could this work? And so now I am pregnant with my 3rd child, and I'm like going on maternity leave. So I'm like, ask my supervisor, can I do this at home? And he's like, yeah, you can do it at home, no problem. He was like, you can't take the calls at home, but you can do, your any sales and anything else you want to do, you can do that. I said, okay, fine. So it worked. So I came back off of maternity leave, and they wanted me to sit with Harley Davidson's team to close the deal to sell their extended service plans. And so they did, and the meeting went well. Well, it went so well that my supervisor, he came to the table. He's like, to the cubicle, Natasha, come here, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, sure. He was like, do you know how much money you made us in the last 6 months? And I was like, no, like, why would I be counting your money? Like, who's keeping up with that? Yeah, I'm just thinking about me making sure that I get this same amount of money every month, at the time. And so he says, $1 million.
In 6 months.
In 6 months. And I'm like, he's sitting there, he's going on and on about how he wants me to move up in the company and blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there like, I'm about to quit. Like, what? Your girl is out. I don't know what you mean. So I get to my cubicle and I call my mom. That's my girl. She about to tell me if it's right or wrong. I'm like, Mom, I'm about to quit. She's like, you're about to what? You ain't about to quit this job, girl. It got benefits. You getting paid this amount of money. You got these kids.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Ma, I made them $1 million in 6 months.
Wow.
I said, if I can make it for them, I know I can make it for myself.
And more.
And she was like, F it, quit. And that was the assurity that I needed to know that I would never be homeless. Like, okay, cool. My mother got my back, I'm out. But no, I stayed and I worked to pay for my call center to open. I hired my sister-in-law. She at the time worked for Blockbuster, was a store manager there. And she had been managing different stores, her and my brother, in fact, all over Michigan. And she hated it. And so I'm like, I could at the time afford to pay her salary and all of my expenses at the same time or whatever, right? So I was like,
the system you created.
Exactly. So I was still working there, but I was paying, a supervisor and just building the operations team while I was at the job. And so I would use that salary in terms of that, because then, it was definitely so much harder 15 years ago and I can't believe I'm saying 15 years ago, but it was so much harder 15 years ago to get loans or help, or there was not as many resources as it is now for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't have time for all of these blocks. I'm going to pay for it myself out of my salary. Whatever I don't get. Whatever I can build with this, I'm going to do it. And that's what I did. And I started out with one employee next door who lived next door to me, a contractor. And then I hired my sister-in-law to become the supervisor, because I had to still go to work to make the money for them. And then I convinced my brother to let me create a call center in his basement. And he said yes. And before you knew it, I had 3 rotating shifts coming out of the basement. And he was like, girl, you got to get out of my house. Like, who are these people? You have to get a building. And that is kind of like the push that I needed to say, oh my God, I am a real business. I can come out the basement. This is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, so I ended up getting a call center in East Point, creating a call center in East Point. And then that was kind of my work from home era, where work from home was birthed for me at that point, where I began to let agents work from home in the United States and then in other countries. And I ended up having over 700 contractor service for me.
Wow.
I provided, I don't know how many opportunities over the years. It is unnumbered. It has been an extreme number, and it's been exciting. So for me, that's kind of like the journey of how, make your dreams come true, birth, and now is the home to the resource of making any business dream a reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Make Your Dreams Come True, was that the call center, or that was birthed out of the call center business?
Exactly. So that was it started out as a call center, then emerged into a PBO firm, which is an outsourcing firm of professional services, and just being a missing piece to any business stream, from design to marketing to SEO to consulting to literally what you need me to be to execution. I'm an execution person. So you could need us to process your inbound and outbound calls or sales, or be your tech support. You could need us to create you a marketing strategy or execute that strategy.
Wow.
You could need us to be on the website or a database for you and your team, or to create or to do even business development. So we do so many things for our clients like you would not imagine. And we service pretty much every industry except agriculture and industrial industries. We don't service those, but anything else we pretty much have dealt with. And the call center industry is really what has helped me be able to construct so many different businesses, from retail to art to learning centers, to just so many things, and creating programs for education and municipals, to job recruiting services. I could just go on and on, because the call centers are literally the gateway of business.
It is. So you were that business, just like, you have to be that girl, but that business, that go-to for all your needs for business.
Exactly. And so I just took all of those experiences from servicing different clients, and from banking to call centers, from automotive to retail to amusement parks. Yeah, so.
Okay, awesome. So you also launched the fashion business agency called Being That Girl. So where did that name come from, and what inspired you behind that? So we know you got the business, Make Your Dreams Come True, but what's that girl? What is that?
Again, it comes through my mom. Isn't that just something? I think that she's just truly was an instrument in just my entrepreneurial success and mindset. Wow. She passed away. It's been over 6 years now, and she was known as that girl.
Okay, so that's where the name came from.
That's
your
where
mom,
it came from.
She was known as that girl.
Exactly.
How nice.
And she would announce herself when she would come in the room fashionably, just looking amazing, just was really into fashion. and she'd come in the room like, I'm that girl. And so it just was what it was, you know. And I remember looking in the mirror after she died. It was very traumatic for me, an experience that I'll never forget. And it was really taking a toll on me during the grieving process. And then shortly after her death, I experienced going through a divorce with my ex-husband, who I had been with my whole life. And so it was just a lot going on. But I remember looking in the mirror and asking myself, who in the world are you? You know, your mom isn't here anymore. You're not, you know, esteemed by her. Who's going to, you know, give you that? Your ex-husband isn't it. Those are like some of the most important people in your life, you know. And I was so close to them, you know. And to now just be walking in earth and the closest people who know you are not there anymore. And you're like, okay, I got these kids. I am losing my mind. What is going on? Who are you? And at that point, I had to be that girl. I had to discover who I was alone in the world.
So
you know what I'm
look
saying?
in the mirror and say, I'm that girl.
Yes, and then I began feeling like that I was that girl, and then really just started putting my life back together after grief and just being that girl.
That's awesome. And I know that's a great honor for your mom. I know she would be so proud. You have a whole business basically named after her and the things that she loved, which was fashion.
Yes, she would definitely be excited. She was always, I think I've made my mother proud my whole life.
Yeah.
And so she, before she passed, she seen me live my life on it, out on a stage, in the newspapers, just doing excellent things. And I spoiled her. She spoiled me. Definitely the most. But I'm happy that her and my father both had the opportunity to see me do amazing things, and knowing that they did really the investments that they were making into my education, into me personally, their struggles in life that they didn't get to do. I think I showed them that it was all worth it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And with that girl business, it's fashion. So what other, like, where is it at? Where's the clothes? What kind of fashion is it?
So it is a t-shirt affirmations, that girl. Just simply, I am that girl. That girl is a boss. That girl is a doctor. That girl is a lawyer. That girl is a teacher. That girl is a producer. Just so many things that girl is, and you determine what that is. So I think people also do a lot of customizations, you know, their name with, you know, whoever is that girl. But we had the great privilege of launching it at the end of 2019, though short-lived, at Macy's department store. So that was really cool.
That's amazing. To have your clothes in Macy's. So how did that make you feel when you saw your clothing line, especially just in honor of your mom? How did that make you feel to see your stuff in Macy's?
And it still ties back to her. That was her favorite department store, in fact.
Wow.
And
so was that intentional?
It was not intentional. It kind of just happened that way. And our last shopping experience was in Macy's. And it was about my son. They were very spoiled by their grandparents, and he wanted to get these Ralph Lauren shirts out of Macy's. And I'm thinking, like, these are too expensive in here, girl. We need to go to Marshall's. You tripping, Ma. She like, no, this is the quality. This is here. That's aftermarket. Just all of these thoughts she had about shopping at Marshall's instead of Macy's, right? So she was like, this is where I go. This is where I took y'all. Blah, blah. You don't wear cheap things. She just was really serious about that. So she said, I'm going to get him this. So she really went crazy and bought him whatever he wanted to do then. I'm like, I don't care. It's your money. I'm not buying it, you know. So it was a full circle moment coming right back there and having it in that store. Definitely, it just, I don't even know how to describe, but it was definitely a good feeling for my entire family who came out. My siblings are also just a great testament to what type of mother she is. They're all amazing, is, you know what I'm saying, too. So it's really dope. We're really close. So just to see everyone be able to see it happen, even if for a little while, was a dream come true.
Yeah.
It was hard work. I'm telling you, I was not made for department stores. I'm going to tell you that right now. I thought I was flat line. Like, I don't even know if I celebrated really. I could not. It was so much. It is a big task to go department stores. So now I am in boutiques throughout the city, other states as well.
Okay.
They know about that girl from here all the way to the UK, to Africa, to so many dope places. And the brand is in Flows Detroit right now. Flows Detroit on Willis Street, and then by popular demand as well, Desi & Co. in East Point, and then of course online. Okay. And then our That Girl agency have 3 different locations where you can come and pick up if you order online, if you're in the city. So just some different options for people to be able to get their merchandise.
Yeah.
So, and then the business is really just me tying in what I've always done, which was make business dreams a reality. So a lot of women, I have a lot of different groups where I'm affiliated with nothing but women. And so what you said on set, on early coming on about the women creating these businesses, man, I've helped so many women break barriers and become business owners. And that's kind of like a journey you've been on. So to be able to power other businesses from Make Your Dreams Come True, is just bigger than me. Sometimes I sit back like, did I really do this? Like, and then it's like, no, you really had help. I think, God just completely continues to give me this knowledge because I feel like he knows I'm going to give it to someone else. And
that you're going to help people and impact their lives and change it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think the tears of joy from the people who I help, the things that they tell me or how it made them feel, or I used to cry with them every time, but now it happens so often it looks so crazy because they be crying and I just be straight faced like, and they be like, no, I'm like, it's fine. Like, I be just trying to catch up with the emotion, but it'll come like later. Like, did that just happen? I don't know. I think I kind of get like a little shell shock every time it happens, but it is a feeling that you're like, wow, that really just happened, because I'm just as happy every time they're happy. Every time I take an idea and bring it into conception for another person, it literally makes me feel like I did it, that is mine as well. And I think I'm really appreciative and grateful to see the experience, because I know that I had limited help with myself. Like, it wasn't, a lot of helping arms or resources for me. I had to really figure things out. And so now to literally have somebody walk into my office and say, I want to do this, and I'm like, blah, oh, blah, just like that, like, voila. And it's like, what? I would have never been able to do that exactly that way 15 years ago. And I think the process just keeps streamlining itself as far as me being able to create those systems to make things better. The more resources I have, the better technology gives us information, the easiness of finding things really is on everybody's side who's trying to tap into entrepreneurship.
Wow. I mean, you're definitely creating, solutions for people, businesses. That's just awesome. So what's next for Natasha Lee? You've done a lot already in your lifetime. So what else you got planned?
So a couple of things. I am hiring 1,500 social media influencers right now. 1,500
You
between.
didn't say 15. You said 1,500.
1,500 from now until May 2022. So it's going to be a slow onboarding process or whatever, but I'm working on that right now. I am working on my own, let's say, TV project for myself. So those are the 2 things that I'm working on. And I know I'm going to be like a basketball mom, for the next 4 years. My daughter is just now in high school. So I really want to kind of clear my plate to be able to be at her games and stuff like that. So those are just really those are the plans I have right now.
Awesome. So tell us, how can people find you on social media?
Okay, so you guys can find me at I'm That Girl Natasha on IG and That Girl IG page. Again, I'm That Girl Natasha and That Girl IG page, That Girl FB page, That Girl TikTok page, That Girl Clubhouse, That Girl Twitter page. You got it.
That girl. Well, Natasha, it has been a pleasure to have you here today and talking with you. And I know it took, not only, the the help and push of your family and friends, but it also took you believing in yourself, because a lot of people, you know, although people may push them and say, oh, I see you doing this and you can do it, but sometimes they don't do it because they don't believe in themselves. So you had to believe in yourself. So what helped you in believing in yourself? Was it affirmations? What did you do? But, you know, just leave the audience with some encouraging words about believing in themselves if they want to have a business and you know, make their dreams come true.
Yes, definitely. You're so right. It's really a big part of entrepreneurship, guys, is believing in yourself. It really is. The ability to keep standing up after being told no, you may not see that overturn in that first 5 years. So you have to really love what you do. You have to make sure it's your passion, meaning that whether you get revenue from it or not, you enjoy it. So I'm going to encourage people to do only the things that they enjoy and create a business out of that, because then you're going to really be relentless in it. It's going to not feel like work, you know? So anybody out there who's looking to make their business dreams come true, it is not just about thinking, it is about doing. We can think all day long and it's not going to come to life. We have to put in the work, and that's one of the things that a lot of us get discouraged in doing, because the work could feel too hard. So my advice to that, guys, if you feel that way, is to do one thing at a time. You are not in competition or in a race with anyone. You are on your own time. You are on your own purpose. You are on your own dream. And if you do not believe in yourself, when you walk in the room, no one else will. So those are my tips.
Well, you know, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here today, interviewing you and being here, seeing you in person. It is awesome. You know, you're a phenomenal woman. You are that girl. And you're truly making lives come true, people's dreams come true, making people dream again where they thought their dreams were lost. So that is just so amazing that you're really impacting the community and changing lives in the world.
Oh,
That's
thank
awesome.
you so much.
Awesome. So thank you for being here. And thank you, kings and queens, for joining us on today on Believe in Yourself Tuesday. And as our guest Natasha Lee said, you know, you have to think it. This is more than just thinking it, but you have to do it. You know, everything you need is inside of you. You know, you think it, do it, and you can achieve it. And don't let others tell you what you cannot do. You know your value and know your worth, because sometimes people, they know your value. Just like our guest today, she made a company $1 million in 6 months. And it's when she found that out that she said, no, I'm valuable. I quit. And what she do? She bet on herself and believed in herself to start her own multi-million-dollar company, and have literally been changing lives all throughout the world. So what lives can you change in your world or in the world? Everything you need is right there inside of you. All you have to do is believe in yourself. I hope you all have a great week. And don't forget to click and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Lakina Folks, and join our Believers community. Thank you.